So here we are. We bought a home, and today we're gonna be walking you through a little bit this property that we have acquired. Here it is. Okay, so let's start this tour. Here we go. This is the entrance of the house. As you can see, it has the really nice Portuguese style. You're gonna notice that this house has furniture in it. And what happened is that when we purchased the house, we asked the owners if they were willing to leave the furniture behind, because why not? They have such nice things, antiques, paintings. And since this house was an inheritance, it also removed the emotional part of the owners to have to go through everything and decide what am I gonna keep, what am I gonna throw away. So we just made it easy for them and told them, look, you can just leave everything and we will review the things and take care of it. You don't need to worry about anything. So what they did is, before the date where we signed the contract and purchased the house, they came in, they took the things that were emotional, they took those away and left everything else for us. Let's start with the first room of the house, which is the living room. So this is the living room. As you can see, there's really nice furniture in here. There is a fantastic antique piano that we are really excited about. And you would think, you're excited because you play the piano? Well, not really. No one plays the piano, but now we have no excuse to don't learn about it. So, very excited with this item. Let me go around the room so you get a bit of sense of the space. It is a pretty decent sized room with some really lovely furniture. So it's always a nice surprise when we came into the house to see what was left behind. We're excited about all these items. So let's go to the next room. Next room that we have is a bedroom. You can see it has a double couple room, probably I would say like a queen or a little bit less. It's also a very nice sized room, as you can see. Also has pretty interesting furniture. I have to say it's not exactly our style, but we do appreciate it. Also has a nice window into the street. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this house has 3 rooms and a living room, which is pretty good. Here's this smaller bed, I would say like a twin, but also a really nice space as well. And this lovely chest, all carved, so also very excited about this one. You can see as well that we have a lot of work here in terms of renovation, which to be honest, we are excited about it. I mean, there's so much potential. This house has really good foundation, really good walls. Insulation is not that bad. It does need us to improve it, but it's not that bad. So that was a positive surprise. Here is the third room. And this is the room that has a bathroom en suite. Let me just give you a sense of the space. Also a really lovely chest as well. Excited about this one. This is like the little surprises. You never know, you don't know what you're gonna find, but it's always nice things that can be reused, reshaped, gain a second life. This is the master bedroom. It's not super big, but it's comfortable size. Definitely needs a lot of work. As you can see, we have everything outside, the plumbing outside, so that will have to go all in the walls. We will also probably redo the floors, probably not, most definitely redo the floors, the windows. So stay tuned for the future, a lot of videos about the renovation. And let us know which type of details you would like to see. We're happy to bring those in as well. So next we have, let's call it the shared bathroom. It's just on the end of the hall. Let's just take a quick look. Don't get scared by the looks of it. It can definitely be upgraded into a really nice modern bedroom. It has enough space. So here I'm looking back into the entrance, and it's a really lovely long size hall, which is great. It's comfortable, you can move around, you can have children running around, so that is awesome. Next is the kitchen, a piece of the house that I love and we spend a lot of time in, but definitely needs a lot of work. It has a lot of potential. So for a house that was built, if I'm not wrong, on the 60s, it is pretty impressive that they already thought forward and have like a whole pantry room. So this was their pantry room. We're gonna keep it and enhance it, put shelves all around it. That's a concept we absolutely love from US, having like a pretty big pantry so you can have everything in it, organized, take things out of the kitchen that you don't want to be seeing every day. Now the kitchen itself has really nice floor. I'm gonna be honest, I really like it. But it is really, really tiny. You can see that it feels really full. It does have this sink, which is pretty awesome. We'll definitely keep it and reuse it in the house. But is pretty small. This is, let me just go into a corner so you can get a sense of the space. Yeah, this is about it. It has a window. It has here the stove with a chimney in it. Then you turn around and you have here the fridge. So this is the space that probably when I came in the first time, I was like, whoa, man, this is really small. But then you start thinking about the plan and the potential. And there's a lot of potential of opening up that window completely into this secondary living room and making it really spacious, have like an open floor plan so you can enjoy family meals. Because to be honest, if we look at the time we spend and which location of the house is truly in the dining area and in the kitchen. So that's where we're gonna make the main focus. So what we have here is, let's call it kind of a secondary living room. Also with really nice china. It's always a surprise. You never know what you were gonna find when you came into the home. So it's like super cool to find all these little treasures. So back here in this lovely space close to the kitchen, let's just do a little detailed walkthrough. This is like an extension, like a lounging area. Really cool. I mean, fireplace. Can already imagine here, cozy winters, Christmas dinners. You start like dreaming about it. But yeah, then you're faced with reality as well, which is we have some infiltration. So there's definitely a lot of work to be done to identify where all these infiltrations are coming from and address them before we start doing the full remodel. We want to make sure we address all of these before we do anything, so we don't need to go back and redo work. But this is a really lovely space. You have like a massive window. The only downside of this window is it actually facing the neighbor's garden, so we probably make it like so you cannot really see outside, so for privacy. But still having a lot of light into the living room is really, really awesome. And again, I'm just gonna stop and appreciate this really nice clock. Is like, sorry for the extra enthusiasm, but it's like, I'm in a treasure hunt and I love it. Like this, someone drew this one, is like so cool. Next is another thing that I was really surprised to see, like folks really thinking forward. Like they have this laundry room in here, which is an additional space. So some of the ideas that we have is to really open all this space, like unify the kitchen with this big living room and also increase it into the space. So like a pretty massive space. Because we have small children and you need to be keeping an eye on them when they're playing. And it's great to be able to be cooking in the kitchen and looking at the kids playing in the living room and having enough space that you're not constantly stepping on those Legos. I mean, all parents of small kids, you get me, right? Stepping on Legos and cars is not fun. So this is kind of a really big surprise for us. From the outside you saw the house, so you were excited already by the size of the house, but this area here is like a total surprise. Let me show you what is this about. So this is like an annex that was built. Whew. I don't want to get glass on me. Sorry for the noise. Okay, here we are. So this is an annex that was built in continuation of the house that supports here the additional space in the living room. And it's adjacent to the garden. Again, I'm just gonna stop here to show you like a little treasure as well that the owners left behind. I mean, how cool is this? It's like an old typing machine. It's like, I feel like I'm in a treasure hunt in here. Okay, I cannot resist, so I might as well show you this one as well. Or probably you can't see it very well, but it's like an old Singer sewing machine. Super cool. So, what is this room about? The explanation we got from the previous owners is that this was kind of call it like a social space, like a place where there was a bar and you would have drinks and then you will have a well. So yeah, there is a well inside this space. I don't know if you guys watched that movie called The Ring, where that scary, hairy kid comes out of the well. So when I look at that well, that's pretty much the image I have of that movie. And again, having small children, this is like priority number one, is to close this well. But this well has water, so we still want to have a pump in it and use the water for the garden, and who knows, even for the gray, they call it gray water, the water that you use for flushing and those types of things. So we definitely want to take use of it, but it is scary. And the previous owners told us that the idea was to have kind of a lounge, family lounge space here, where you would have like a little rolldana in here, and you will cool off the drinks. So they will go all the way down into the water, and then you pull them up. It is a pretty neat idea, but in our case, it doesn't really fit our family plans with small children. So this will probably end up being kind of a storage space kind of place, because it's pretty humid in here. So that's one of the ideas. But nevertheless, I mean, buying a house with a well, it is a cool surprise. Never thought about that, but yeah, it was cool. So after we leave here, this little lounge well area, this is the corridor that gives us access to the kitchen and that extra living room. We have actually a spare extra little house. What we were told is this is where like the people that will help at home, like the cook and the cleaning lady lived. So it's like an extra independent little house. It has this fantastic space in here. They call it cozinha de chão, because folks would make a little fire in here and cook directly here in the flame. Let me just walk back just to show you how it looks like. It is pretty neat. This is like the, let's call it kitchen, living room space. Then you have one room here, one bedroom. Yeah, it does need a lot of work. As you can see, the floor is like peeling, and like here this is coming out, and the ceiling needs work. So this is a space that needs a lot of work, but it has a lot of potential, right? Because it can be a little rental apartment. It can be a place where our family stays and has some privacy. So we'll need to think through it, what we're gonna do with this space. This is an additional room as well. It's like massively crowded with stuff, but it is a pretty decent size. It has its own entrance. So this house is in the city, and it has the main entrance and has a back entrance. This is like a small road, which is only for the folks that have houses in here that use it. I don't actually know what's the name. Here in Portugal, they call it Rua de Serventia. This is the bathroom of this little house. Pretty decent, I have to say. Pretty decent space. Plumbing is actually inside, which is great. And then you have this, which I'm suppose it was probably like the living room, or it could actually be an additional room. It's pretty awesome space, as you can see. So this was a little surprise. Really nice space. This fireplace is just awesome. So let's go back into the main home and walk you through the exterior, so you can see a little bit of the garden as well. As you can see, this almost feels like a little labyrinth. Like I'm going up the stairs. Here we go. Going through the laundry room. Now going into that additional living room, which has the kitchen. Here we go. Then we go into the main house space. Here we are back into the main living room. So let's go into the outside space. Before I go into the outside space, just gonna mention another element of this house, actually building that we purchased, is that it has as well a top floor. So that top floor is rented. It has already someone in it, and that's fine. And let's just go into here, the garden. Little space for parking our car. As you can see, it's pretty good amount of space. Excited about this one. A vine here. I think you say vine. You can see here we've been cleaning up the entrance because it was full of bushes. So we're starting the process of getting it all cleaned up. There you have that little house that I showed you the inside of a little bit ago, and it also has a garage, and we were just looking through the garage and finding all kinds of stuff. So this is definitely the pile that we're going to be calling someone to collect it or putting outside the house. Maybe some folks have purposes for these items. One man's garbage, someone else's treasure, so you never know. A happy surprise as well of the garage is there's a ton of bikes in there, so we can definitely reuse some of those. Going back here into the garden, this piece here is where you have the laundry room, and that window there behind the tree gives you access to the living room. Here there's a decent amount of green space. So the idea here is to have some raised beds and plant some vegetables so the kids can see them growing from the beginning and also see it going into their plate, get them a little bit more excited about the vegetables. An additional surprise is, as you look Here, there's an extra room on top. So this bottom room here that you see here, this is where we have the well that I showed you a bit ago. And here on the top is a plus room. The family sold us the place that was used for throwing kids parties, and when they were teenagers, for them to have their little clubbing in there, so supervised clubbing with their friends. It has a pretty awesome view in here into the neighborhood. The little house. Let's go in here. So it's a pretty good space. The previous owners also told us that they used to rollerblade in here when it was raining. So definitely a cool space to keep kids entertained when it's bad weather. These here were also a really pleasant surprise. These are really like old chests. Lots of potential to be renovated and reused. Has two pretty awesome windows, so lots of light. Let me go into a corner here so you can get a sense of the space. Pretty awesome space. We are wondering either doing a little workout space here or actually having our office in here. So be pretty neat to have all this natural light and just be able to look into the garden while you're working, like having a really awesome view. As well, it's a space that needs a lot of work. We'll probably be insulating all this space up here so it's not super cold. Not super excited about this floor, so probably have to change it, repaint it, insulate it. New windows, exciting times. This is the awesome view from up here. You can hear the little birds. Let's go back down. Yep. Overall, we are super excited with this project, with the potential, with all the amazing things we can be doing. So I'm back in the main living room that has a lot of furniture because I wanted to do some treasure hunting in here. Look at some of the things that were left behind, which are lovely. I mean, look at this china set. Actually, I think yeah, look at this. How cool is this? So lovely. And these are one of the things that when you're negotiating, don't be afraid to ask, especially if it's an inheritance. I mean, it didn't belong to one person, but it's like a sentimental thing. Why not ask to keep what's inside? It's something they got from members that passed away. And if there's furniture in there, just ask them if you want to keep it, because you never know. And for them, it's a burden to go through all of this and figuring out, package it, probably don't even have space for it. And for us that just bought the house and don't actually have any furniture in here or utensils and dishes and anything like that, is like a joy, honestly. And plus you're reusing things instead of just buying new stuff. You're reusing things that had a history. I mean, this is like such a surprise. This is like a mini bar and you have the glasses in here. This is pretty neat. You have some drinks in here, but I'm not sure I will be trying any of them. Who knows how long they've been in here. But nevertheless, another really awesome surprise is like, look at this set of utensils. I mean, super cool. Definitely will be many, many times used on Christmas dinners and so on. And the other thing that it's lovely is as well the paintings. I mean, this is original. I mean, you can see It's a painted and not a print. And this is really neat. There's 2 more here. Painted by someone, is even signed. This one is pretty lovely. Someone with a lot of talent did this one. Definitely one of my favorite furniture is this one. Here with all these glasses. These probably for Porto wine, even though Porto wine is awesome. It's not for drinking in a normal wine glass, it's like way too much. So super cool items, like an antique clock. There's another one here, but definitely the most cool one in this whole room is the piano. I'll have to check it out and we'll have to learn. Like, look at these details. Like, I'm guessing this is like German maybe? Who knows? I'll have to search online and probably needs some work to get the sound right, but nevertheless, owning a piano is like so cool. No more excuses, you need to learn how to play the piano. There's probably an app and plenty of YouTube videos that can help you out. Well, this doll, not my thing, always reminds me of creepy movies, so we'll probably have to find a new home for her. But yeah, this was definitely a surprise. When I came into the home, I have to confess, I looked at the furniture and I was like, let's ask them if they can leave it behind, if they don't mind, because there's so much potential. Like these chairs, this is like real wood. You can just redo the pillows and there you go, brand new and reusing instead of like throwing it away. So let's talk a little bit about how we found this property. First of all, we will not be sharing yet the price point at which we acquired this property or the location. For that, subscribe to our newsletter. In the near future, we will be providing much more details on those 2 points. So let's start by talking about what were our requirements. First of all, we were looking for a family home, so a detached single family that had enough space outdoor for kids to play, a little garden where we could have a little plant so the kids can see the vegetables growing and appreciate eating fresh vegetables from our garden. In the house itself, we were looking at the bare minimum to have 4 bedrooms, to have a decent sized living room and a decent kitchen. Those were our main requirements. Then we had some extra requirements, which is we wanted a garage. We wanted to be able to park our car in a garage so it lasts us longer. And we had kind of stretch requirements, which you knew that we might not get it, but as well, wishful thinking, we added them as well in the list. And that was, we wanted extra space to have kind of a workshop, additional space that we can use for different functions. And we wanted what's called here in Portugal, uma rua de serventia, which is basically you have your house, you have the main road where vehicles are passing, and then on the back of the house you have like a tiny little service road that's only for the neighbors to use it. And we really wanted something like that so our kids can bike in safety, so we can get to know the neighbors around it and have that extra sense of safety and space. So that was in terms of our requirements. But how did we start this search for the property? First of all, we looked at the location that we chose. This is the place that we like. This is the place that has all the conditions that we need. And we started getting familiarized with the price points. And for that, we subscribed to alerts on Idealista, Imo Virtual, and we started getting a sense of, okay, what's available in the area? What is the condition of these properties? So we could have our expectations set on what's available. And the next thing was, what are the price points? What is the price per square meter? So we get our expectations, we know the price points, and we can decide how much we want to spend or what we feel comfortable spending with. Next step was to find a real estate agent, to have feet on the ground, because in smaller environments, the gems, the best deals, they never make it online. They are word of mouth, they are by the agent that is well connected in the community, that knows folks and can tell which are the people that have houses in the area that do not live here, that might be willing to sell. He's also on the loop of inheritance that are happening. So having a real estate agent that is a member of the community, well respected, is the best feet on the ground that you need. And that's exactly what we did. We found a person that was on the lookout for us, knew exactly our requirements, so we wouldn't waste our time showing us a lot of ugly ducklings. And we really appreciate that, because time is essential and you don't want to be pulled into seeing things, getting your hopes up, and then you go and visit and it's really nothing of what you're looking for. So the real estate agent was really in tune with us. He knew exactly what we wanted. And for instance, this property we bought, it never made it online. It never had ads to sell on it, nothing. This was basically a word of mouth. This was the real estate agent that was well connected in the community, that knew of an inheritance that was taking place, knew that the people that were the owners were showing some willingness, were considering to sell. So she knew this was happening. And after vouching that everything was looking good, that indeed this sale was going to move forward, reached out to us. We came to see the property, and because we were familiarized with the prices and the expectations of what you can get in this area, we immediately recognized this was a good deal. We recognized seeing the property that this had the spaces we wanted. We also knew that it was a property that had a lot of renovations that needed to be done. It also had the fact that on the top floor that is independent from the rest of the house, there's a tenant in there. So we knew of these limitations, and these limitations were reflected in the price, which is fantastic. Then everyone feels that a good deal was made. So that's about it, how we found the property. And this is the advice I give you, is if you found the spot you like, get some feet on the ground that are well connected in the community and that are going to get insights into these deals before they come out. This is how you find the gems. Things that hit Imo Virtual, Idealista, they already have a lot of visibility. And if it's in a hot place, prices are going to be going up and so on. Now, in terms of this property, you can expect a whole bunch of videos on the renovations. We are super excited of taking on a renovation. A lot of people might dread it, but for us, we really like to visualize the space, have these ideas of how we're going to transform it, and then get it in motion and get it done. It brings us a huge amount of joy to be doing that. So we will be doing lots of videos about how do we find materials, how do we find suppliers, or strategies to contact folks and get things moving. We are not going to have, let's call it a general contractor that's going to do the whole house. We are going to project manage the whole renovation. We're going to have people coming in for different specialities, and we're going to be buying the materials all ourselves. So the folks that come here, they have the materials and we're paying for labor. And we're going to be walking you through everything. So let us know if there are other things you would like to know more about. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you're in the loop of when these videos come about. And also to our newsletter, because that will give you much more insights into the financials of this deal and other TBDBs. So thank you so much for watching.